Hey everybody, Pandi here.
Hey everybody, Pandi here of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If we are already chat family, welcome back. I want to thank you all for taking a moment to click on this video, and if you would be so kind to please make sure that you blow dry on the like button. Over here, for the most part, my channel is based on hair, both natural hair as well as wigs. However, I also cover trending recaps. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, product reviews, Dollar Tree hauls, Walmart hauls, game nights, and just a whole wide variety of content that you will find over here. Always fun, always positive, and always upbeat. Okay, and hopefully informational. So tonight, I am coming on to share some trending national news that I found very interesting, and I'd like to get you guys' take on it. And it is none other than the recent developments in the Jacob Blake case. Okay, now Jacob Blake revealed his first thoughts once he regained consciousness after being shot by Kenosha, Wisconsin police. And earlier in an interview with Good Morning America, the 29-year-old, now paralyzed father of two, tells his side of the story. Now, Jacob Blake, who was partially paralyzed after a Kenosha, Wisconsin police officer shot him in his back several times, said that he thought he was going to die in the August 23rd incident. Quoting, "All I remember at the point was kind of laying back looking at my boys. I said, Daddy loves you no matter what," end quote. The 29-year-old told Michael Strahan on ABC's Good Morning America. "I thought it was going to be the last thing I'd say to them. Thank God it wasn't." Blake was reportedly attempting to break up an altercation between two women, one of them his child's mother, when, according to a Wisconsin state criminal investigation, she called the police telling them that he had a warrant out for his arrest. When police arrived, they attempted to take Blake into custody, but confronted him without telling him why they were arresting him, he said. Rustin Shesky was one of several police officers who responded. Blake admits that he did in fact resist arrest, but did so by trying to prevent from being choked to death the way that George Floyd was in Minneapolis months prior. Quoting, "I resisted to getting beat on," Blake told Strahan while sitting in a wheelchair. "What I mean by that is not falling, not letting them put their hand on my neck," end quote. Police then wrestled with him. Then they used a taser to try to subdue him. He was able to pull the plugs out of the device and move to get into his vehicle. Blake says that's when Shesky pulled on his shirt, then fired at him, striking him several times in the back and side. Blake's two sons were in the car. Like Floyd's death, Blake's shooting was captured in a disturbing cell phone video that, of course, went viral. He said, "I was counting down my breath, my blinks. I was like, God, I'm coming," he said. "I guess this is it for me." The shooting touched off several days of unrest in Kenosha, adding to the months of massive demonstrations nationwide over police violence involving Black people. 2 days after the shooting, protests turned tragic when two people, Joseph Rosenbaum, age 36, and Anthony Huber, age 26, were shot and killed. Gage Groscrews, age 22, was also injured. Then we had this little sidebar activity going on with Kylerittenhouse, the 18-year-old who was arrested later at his home in Antioch, Illinois, and charged with 5 felonies, including first-degree murder. However, he was released after posting a $2 million bail earlier in January, and he also pled not guilty to the charges. That was the kid that came all the way there from another city and was allegedly roaming around with a firearm, walking nonchalantly past several officers, and he was allegedly able to do that. And as we see, there were no charges brought up against him. Well, they were brought up, but they didn't stick. Now, the Kenosha County District Attorney Mike Gravely announced earlier this month that neither Shesky nor any of the other officers at the scene would be charged in the shooting. He said that a case against Shesky could not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and that state statutes on police shooting dictated that the officer reasonably defended himself because Blake was perceived to have had a weapon. That weapon was a pocket knife that Blake said was on his person, but had dropped out of his pocket when wrestling with an officer. He denies the allegation that he thrusted the knife at Shesky, quoting, "So I picked it up after I got off of him because they tased me and I fell on top of him. When he went to the driver's side door of his vehicle, he didn't think he'd be shot. I shouldn't have picked it up considering what was going on," he continued. "At that time, I wasn't thinking clearly." He said that once he placed the knife in the car, he intended to lie on the ground and assume an arrest position with his hands behind his back because if they killed me there, everybody would see it. Blake says that he believed because he was walking away from the officer, he wouldn't be fired upon, and that the loud screaming taking place all around him prevented him from hearing the officer's orders, stating that his ears were ringing, so it was all muffled, he said. Now, Benjamin Crump, one of Blake's attorneys, contends that the police investigation made public the warrant against Blake and his past incidents of resisting arrest, which were dropped and totally irrelevant to this case. Quoting, "If you are black in America and you're not perfect, then they say it was justified," he told Strahan. "It's like our children have to be angels." Crump and co-counsels Patrick A. Salvey II and B. Ivory Lamar blasted the district attorney's decision not to charge Shesky. The district attorney's decision not to charge the officer who shot Jacob in the back multiple times, leaving him paralyzed, further destroys trust in our justice system, the lawyer said in a statement. "This sends the wrong message to police officers throughout the country. It says it is okay for police to abuse their power and recklessly shoot their weapon, destroying the life of someone who was simply trying to protect his children." Meanwhile, Blake has had to reconcile his physical limitations as he slowly recovers from the shooting in a rehab facility in Chicago. His lawyers say that he received injuries to his arm, his kidney, his liver, and his spinal cord. And as for his sons, Blake says he's had to have a heart-to-heart and just break down to them what exactly happened that day. Quoting, "I explained to them and broke it down to them like, Daddy can die," he said, "but for some reason, I didn't die that day." You all, this story is absolutely nuts to me. And it's nuts for so many different reasons. And I definitely want you guys to drop down in the comments below and give me your take on it. I'd love to hear your feedback. I can understand the officers, jumping the gun and being on edge because they're coming to the scene of a domestic violence situation. I could even understand a non-deadly shot of force, but preferably I would hope no one would get shot. But I can understand it if one did occur, but 7 times in the back was just so bizarre to me, especially with the children present. You all drop down in the comments below and let me know what's on your mind. What are your thoughts? Have you all been following this story? And what do we think about this? How many times are African American people going to get shot at the hands of law enforcement and there are never any charges brought forth? I'm your girl Pandi of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. Thank you all again for clicking on the video. If you have enjoyed this commentary, go ahead and blow dry on that like button. And if you really enjoy this commentary, go ahead and subscribe. It is free 99. Until next time, you all stay safe out there, stay encouraged, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.